Colleen Hoover, I will read anything you write. If I say let's give it a go one more time, feel free to punch me in the face. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, as you can see from the title, we are filming a birthday book haul. It's quite a big one.
That's what she said.
And this is quite an important one because if everything goes well, which I'm sure it will be, I am intending on doing quite a long book buying ban, so I don't think there'll be any hauls coming up anytime soon, unless for Christmas I might get some books and then I might do another haul then. Basically, I went through all of my physical TBR and there's a lot of them, and then on top of that, for my birthday I got a lot of books. I mean, 95% of this is from Ben, so I'm very grateful. I've got some from my sister and like stuff that I bought for myself. So these are all the books that I got for my birthday. I probably should keep this intro very short. I'm not going to be talking too much about the books just because A, I haven't read them, and B, I just don't have the time to do that because otherwise we'll be here forever. So if you want to see the books that I got for my birthday, then keep on watching. Okay, so we're going to start with the book that my sister got me. I am so excited for this because I've just heard that this is like an experience of a read, but it is Bunny by Mona Awad. The only thing I know about this is it's got some dark academia feels to it as well as like culty vibes, but I don't really want to know much else about it because it's like having a fever dream. So can't wait to read this. Also, please don't mind the fact that one of my gel nail polishes have just come off. It is what it is. But yeah, Bunny. Next, we've got a book of poetry, and it is Homebody by Rupi Kaur. I'm really pleased to get this because I remember when I was like 16, 17 and Milk and Honey was like the thing. I'm just really excited that this is something that I get to now pick up 10 years later. Because it's just a collection of short poems, I'm just going to read this little by little. It's not really something I think I'm going to sit down and binge through, and I'm sure it's going to be a great time. Okay, this is one of my favourite books that I got from Ben because, okay, let's just show you the cover. This is The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. I've wanted this for quite some time and I thought I would get, you know, the regular paperback, the blue, pink and white one, just because that's the one that you see everywhere, and also it's still a really nice cover. However, Ben went above and beyond and picked up the Faber and Faber with Liberty London edition, and it's this beautiful cloth bound. It's quite velvety and it has its own little bookmark, which I absolutely love. This is definitely going to be something I'm gonna showcase on my bookshelf. So the next book that I have is from Miss Colleen Hoover herself, and it is November 9. I'm very excited to read this in the month of November because, I mean, I feel like what better time to read a book called November 9 than actually reading it in November. This, I don't really know much else apart from that it's these two people who meet on the 9th of November every year. Not sure what the significance is, not sure where the plot goes, but if, you know, like all Colleen Hoover books seem to go, if it's romance, there's going to be some drama in it. I've got really high hopes for this one and we'll try and get this read in the month of November. Okay, so the next book that I have is a bit of a controversial one, but it is Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov. I feel like you probably know what this book is about. It's, you know, about a man who falls in love with this 12-year-old girl and his efforts to try and get to her. I've known of its existence and I've read the trigger warnings, but it was just never a book that I was feeling like I should pick up. But then I read My Dark Vanessa in September, which was a 5-star read for me. So My Dark Vanessa talked about Lolita and another one of his books, I can't remember off the top of my head, quite a bit. So curiosity got the best of me, and I did pick this up for myself. I'm not sure when I'm going to be reading this, but it will be read at some point. The next book that I have is Meg Mason's Sorrow and Bliss. I've seen this everywhere as well. I think this one kind of tackles mental health, so I do find books like that very interesting because it's almost mundane everyday life, but also the reality of it makes it a lot, I don't know, if it's relatable, if it's applicable. I've said many a times before in my previous videos how there are books that I really enjoy because they help me feel more empathetic towards others and how they feel, and I've heard really great things about it, so let's give it a go. If I say let's give it a go one more time, feel free to punch me in the face. Okay, so the next book that I have is Sunset by Jessie Cave. This, I believe, is a story about two sisters, and it talks about, funnily enough, sisterhood, and I think it does deal with grief. I'm not sure in what way. Can you hear the fireworks? Okay. I am filming this during bonfire night, and I cannot be like, oh my god, who sent off the fireworks? It's literally the 5th of November, so like, what did I think was going to happen? Anyway, I was very excited to see that Dolly Alderton has recommended this, so yeah. The next book that I have is Heatwave by Victor Jestin, translated by Sam Taylor. I did not know that this was translated. Translated from what? Translated from what? French? I think it's translated from French. Okay, so there are fireworks going around and my dog is scared, so she's literally hiding under here. Okay, 2 seconds. Sorry, I just had to make sure that she was okay. Ben is now taking her downstairs and making like a cozy little den for her because she is stressing out with the fireworks. It's so intriguing. I think this boy basically finds a dead body and then just hides it and just doesn't tell anyone. I wanted to pick this up and I just haven't, so I was very, very pleased that Ben got it for me for my birthday. I think it's quite nice to have a book that you can finish in like one sitting as well, so yeah. Okay, the next book I have here is Percival Everett's The Trees. This was shortlisted for the Booker Prize this year, so you know it's going to be good. I did not realise that as dark as the plot is here, because I'm pretty sure it's like a murderer and he commits murders, and his latest one basically resembles the death of Emmett Till, but apparently this is written in a way that's like satire and comedy. I don't know what to expect from this book, quite honestly, so I'm quite excited to get into this one. So I read The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling in October, and I didn't think I was a romance girly. However, it turns out I am. I'm a sucker for it. But I have seen all of my favourite booktubers talk about this one book, and although it's a chunky monkey, I picked it up because I feel like this is a plot that I can get behind, and it is Lucy Score's Things We Never Got Over. He's absolutely not falling for the good girl. Like, we love a bad boy trope, but do we love a romance that is, I don't want to spoil anything, but like nearly 500 pages? I don't know, but everybody seems to love it, so I'm going to pick this up when I have the patience for it. So the next book that I have is something that I am so excited to get round to, and it is The Cursed Bunny by Bora Chung, translated by Anton He. First of all, can we just love this cover? This was originally published in Korea, and like I said, it's translated. It's a collection of short stories. I think it's all like weird, scary, like it's horror, it's sci-fi, it's basically it's weird, and for some reason I really enjoy books like that, and so I have really high hopes for this one. Right, speaking of weird, The Discomfort of Evening. This was the winner of the 2020 International Booker Prize, so this is some kind of good, right? Needs to be, because this plot is kind of scary. It's kind of not okay, because it basically is like there's something that happens, and the protagonist of the book, I'm pretty sure who is, oh, she's 10, because then her curiosity walks into a wild vortex of disturbing fantasies. Okay. So the next two books that I have here are book 1 and book 2 of, I'm pretty sure so far it's a trilogy, but it is the Before the Coffee Gets Cold book, and then Tales from the Cafe. This is number 1 and this is number 2. I'm a bit late to the game because number 3 is actually out already on hardback. This is originally translated, oh, I didn't even say the author, it's Toshikazu Kawaguchi. I'm pretty sure this is translated from Japanese. Apparently it's quite sad at times, because the premise of this cafe is that it allows you to go back in time or something like that, and you have to return before the coffee gets cold, and some people use it to see like loved ones, so you can only imagine how it could be quite sad, and that's what we're getting into. I've got book 1 and book 2. So I mentioned earlier that I've been on a bit of a romance witchy vibe, and it's a little bit late because it's not spooky season anymore. However, apparently I like that, the coziness that like witchy, supernatural but light-hearted rom-com kind of books bring me, she says, as she's read like one of them. But the next book I have here is The Accidental Medium by Tracy Whitwell. I don't really think it's a romance per se. I think it's just more like a comedic book, because she realizes that she can actually talk to to the dead. So yeah, the next one is True Story by Kate Reed Petty. I have not seen many people read this. I don't know whether I'm just super late to getting around to this book. I just read the synopsis and I am very intrigued. Basically it follows these two boys who gives this really drunk girl a lift home from like a uni party, and then rumours go around about what they did to her. And I thought it was just kind of like, you know, like just a contemporary fiction, and like there's nothing else really specific to it, but it describes itself as a campus novel, psychological thriller, horror story and crime noir. So right up my street. Okay, the next book we have here is Kim Ji-young, born 1982. This is translated from, I believe, Korean. I think it goes into how women, specifically in the Asian society in this scenario, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty much across the board, because they're born women, are expected to fulfill certain societal roles such as being a mother, being a wife, and being just very maternal. Like the feminine side of things is almost like you have to be this, you have to be that, and how it does kind of make you lose your identity sometimes and really boxes you in a little bit. So I'm very excited to have a read of this because I think that's something that I could very much relate right now. So yeah. Okay, so the next book I have is The Colour Purple by Alice Walker. So it follows two sisters, and the time frame of this is in the early 20th century, and I believe the book looks into, you know, kind of like their experience of being black women and them just being sisters as well. So yeah, I don't really know too much else about it, but nevertheless I am excited to get round to it. So the next book that I have here is another Colleen Hoover book, and it is All Your Perfects. This one I don't actually know too much about. Colleen Hoover, I will read anything you write. So Ben went a little bit rogue with this, because basically what happened was he asked me for a wish list of books. I didn't realise that Homeboy was A, going to clear it, and B, going to pay attention to the books that I picked up kind of like over the weeks and didn't buy. So it was really nice. But he went rogue and he picked me up Beach Read, which is perfect because I don't really have too many happy books, like I said, and romance books, like I said. Sometimes reading sad books when you're sad is just like too much. And so I was very pleased to get this because I have You and Me on Vacation. This is like the second book, I'm pretty sure, or this was the first book in your movie, I don't know, but basically those are the first two books. And then once I've read these two, I really want to get round to Book Lovers because apparently that one is probably the best of the three, so yes. Okay, the next one I have seen everywhere because that one time it was like a book of the month book and everybody picked it, but it is Lucy Foley's The Paris Apartment. I do have the guest list and I haven't got round to it yet. To every single author who writes a typical Cluedo style whodunit murder mystery, I am a sucker for that. So I'm going to show you the next two books together because they are books 1 and 2 of a series of like 9 books. That's a lot of books. It is the Shatter Me series. So I have Shatter Me and Unravel Me by Terry Maffei. I think it's like dystopian, like sci-fi fantasy, which I'm trying to get into. So I thought I would buy myself the first 2 books so that if I liked it, I can then jump straight into book 2. And then if I didn't like it, I didn't waste that much money. I didn't get the whole series. We're getting there. We are getting there. Okay, this one I was very excited to see because it seems like another light-hearted read. Also a little bit quirky because it's The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I'm pretty sure this is a romance between a person and her boss who is a ghost. That's all I can say to you about it. So again, I'm very pleased to have another more light-hearted read. Next is, oh, I was so excited to see that I have this. This is a beautiful cover because it's simple, it's dark academia, but it has like these like pressed like little swirly swirls on the front. But it is If We Were Villains by Emil Rio. I will also pay, on top of authors who write murder mysteries, I will also pay a lot of money to people who write dark academia. Who does it well, obviously, but speaking of dark academia, we've got another one. It's Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. This is, I'm pretty sure, is it YA or is it sci-fi? I don't know, but Stephen King says it's impossible to put down. It's got a little twist to it because she is there on a scholarship and she's there to kind of be like a fly in the wall to the secret societies, rather than like, usually it's like the rich kids and they all get together and they are in the secret society or some sort of society. This is going to be a book that I will probably read quite soon. Okay, so the book that Ben said that he read and was like, I really would read that, is The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. I really thought that her name was Olivia. This is about magicians and they have a society. I think it's a little dark academia, a little fantasy. We'll see. I've only got 5 books. Okay, perfect. So, another slightly light-hearted read. We have My Killer Vacation by Tasha Bailey. This I don't really know anything about. However, I have seen people say that they've enjoyed this. I think it's like a Grumpy Sunshine trope, but who knows? I think he's like a bounty hunter and she's like a teacher or something. But yeah, we like an easy read, okay? Next up, we have Night Bitch by Rachel Yoder. I actually spoiled it for me. In a way that, I don't know what happens. I just thought that, okay, basically she becomes something, and I thought that what she becomes is way off to what she actually becomes. If what I found out is true, is what I'm saying. That's why I'm not really saying anything else, and I'm being very, very vague. I guess if you've read this book, you'd be like, or you'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I've seen people kind of give this like a 3.5 star rating. However, I feel like I'd enjoy this, and I like that it's only 240 pages. So this one I got to open early, actually, the night before my birthday, and it was brilliant because that meant that it got me really excited about all the other books that I got to open, because it is Betty by Tiffany McDaniel. I have heard nothing but great things about this. I didn't really know anything about it apart from everyone seems to love it, but I'm thinking it's like a coming of age. I don't know. I really don't know. But people keep saying it's good, so let's find out. And then these next 2 books I bought using the Waterstones gift card that I got for my birthday from Ben's Nana. I've still got a little bit more on it, but I just thought I'd pick these 2 up for now. And it is, like I said, I'm on a bit of a romance journey at the moment, but it is Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. First of all, I don't like this. I don't like real people on covers. Like, get out. Nowhere like stocks this, and this was like the only one that they had, and it was literally like on display, so I was just like, I'm taking you home with me. And then the next book that I picked up, I'm very, very excited about. It is Candice Carty-Williams' Notting Hill Carnival, A West Side Story. She wrote Queenie, and look how small it is, right? And big text, because it's a quick read. It's quick reads. I saw this out of nowhere and was like, that sounds great. And it was $2.99 on the back. Scan it through. This bad boy was £1. I'm very excited to read this. Again, just a romance, just easy, just quick. Well, let's get it. Okay guys, those are all the books that I got for my birthday. I, again, am very, very, very grateful that I got all of these because there's so many of them. Your girl's probably not going to be doing any book hauls for a while because I'm being greedy if I literally buy any more books. No, I am on a book buying ban. I am on a book buying ban. Keep me accountable for what I've just said. I'm on a book buying ban until I've like read quite a good amount on my physical TBR, but I will be doing a little series where I unhaul a bunch of books that I don't think I will get round to, that I think I could just like give to a friend or donate or whatever, or sell if they're new, because there's a lot. And I think sometimes I pick up a book because it's hyped, and then after a while I'm like, actually I don't want it, or like books that I DNF'd and I don't think I'm going to actually finish. So that's everything I have for you today. If you guys enjoyed the video, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!